Hello, everyone. It's Kathy with Paper Phenomenon. I'm here with a top 10 list. Top 10 matting ideas. Throughout the years, I have been matting albums and I have developed my go to techniques for when matting. Some of these ideas have morphed into more complex ideas, perhaps some more, or perhaps I've made it more simpler. It doesn't matter. It's still the same idea, but it takes on a new life after you, depends on the paper you're working with or the project you're working with. But these are my go-to ideas, guys. So I want to put these all together for you in the top 10 list. I will be releasing a video every single day for the next 10 days. So you'll have them right here on YouTube in a playlist, and you'll be able to reference them whenever you like. The videos are not will be released in no particular order, so it doesn't mean that the first one is my most favorite and the last video is my least favorite. It just I recorded them when I recorded them, and it so happened to work out that way. So I hope you reference these. I hope you enjoy them, and I can't wait to see what you do with them. All right, so here's the next matting idea. This one is not so much matting on the page, but an embellishment. And you do have to mat this particular piece. However, this is an embellishment. Paper clips, guys. Paper clips. These are my hidden paper clips, and I'm going to show you how to make these. You can make these in any size you want. Doesn't matter how big, how small. You can make them into all sorts of shapes. I want you to think about all sorts of different ways that you can make these hidden paper clips. And when I say hidden, I mean hidden. You don't see them on the inside. You don't see them anywhere. Okay? You don't see them absolutely anywhere. By the way, this is a D-ring. I told you I was going to show you how to use those D-rings. Well, there's one of the ways. A nice little tag topper there. Hidden paper clips. This is a small one, almost the size of the paper clip. Hidden all the way, guys. All right. It's got a beautiful folded over edge. These are not, well, let me show you how it's done. All right. So you can use small paper clips. You can use large paper clips. It doesn't matter. Okay. I'm going to show you a really small one here for the larger paper clip. Okay, and I have a lot of large ones. I don't have a lot of small ones, so I'm using large ones. And those are the jumbo paper clips. So I'm going to give you a measurement for a 1-inch piece. This is not decorated. You can decorate this as much or as little as you want. I just did pattern paper because I want you to see what it looks like. It almost looks like a money clip. Okay, so here we go, guys. So for this particular one, let me just make sure I know what I did this size at. So I'm going to, you definitely want to make it larger than the paper clip, right? So this paper clip measures a little under 2 inches. I'm going to go with 6 inches. 6 by 2. Okay. So 6 by 2 is going to give me this right here, this paper clip here. So this is a 2-piece hidden paper clip. Let me get this out of the way. So what you want to do is score this piece in half. All right, so we're going to go with 3 inches. Then you want to score this at a 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. So that's the first part of this. Then you want to miter all 4 corners. All right, so you're cutting on the diagonal directly across the X. Okay, all 4 corners you're going to miter. Like so. Then you're going to fold it in half, bumpy side up. Okay, bumpy side up. Then I'd like you to cut on that center fold. All right, so you're left with that. Cut on the center fold right to the score line. So start at the score line, right at that score line, guys. Okay. I want you to fold to the bump. And if you don't have a clean fold, you didn't cut right at the score line. You want to just snip it a little bit more. All right, so go ahead and fold on all of these score lines to form flaps. Very quickly, guys, during the release of this top 10 video, I am having a 50% off sale. So head on over to my website, paperphenomenon.com, and pick up those wish list items that you have, or perhaps you haven't checked out my site yet and this is the first time you're watching Kathy King of Paper Phenomenon. Check it out, 50% off on all of my projects. I also want you to know that when I make these projects, I have my own brand of cardstock, chipboard, and tape. So head on over there and take advantage of these items. If you've used my brand of cardstock, chipboard, and tape, and whatever else I sell, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about it. I would love for everyone else to be able to read those comments and reviews on these items. So enjoy the sale. I hope you pick up what you want. Now let's get back to the matting ideas. And a good idea is to burnish. All right, so you're folding to the bump, to the bump. If your flaps are overlapping, that means you didn't cut directly across the X. You just went a little bit further away from the X. So go ahead and make sure your flaps do not overlap. It's just going to add more bulk to the hidden paper clip, so you don't want anything overlapping, okay? You want these to be nice and flush. And that looks really good. This one has a teeny bit of overlap. So I'm just going to, you don't want to cut too far in, but you just don't want them to overlap. You just want them to kiss, all right? Or not kiss, all right? Just don't let them overlap. And sometimes I get this on the first try, other times I don't, and I just keep on cutting until they're perfect. Okay. So this is for a flushed paper clip, okay, meaning it's going to go all the way in. What did I do with my paper clip? Oh, here it is. It's going to go all the way to the end. This one, if you notice, this tag one is not flush. It stops right here. So you have the top of your tag sticking out, okay? If you wanted to put this one on the top, see that? It's going to stick out the top. The tag part will stick out, which I have to say is pretty stinking cute. All right, so for the flush, you're going to take your paper clip and you're going to, doesn't matter which side, just stick it in there, okay? Just like that. Now you need your second piece, okay? Your second piece, it's going to go over the paper clip. So let's cut that. For your second piece, you want it to be slightly narrow, a little more narrow than this size right here with the flaps folded. So this is an inch right here. From here to here is an inch. So you want it just a little bit under and just slightly under this width right here. I'm going to give you the size, but I want you, when you do this on your own, I want you to think about this. So from here to here, length times width, right? Just slightly under your length times width. Not a quarter of an inch, just slightly under. Okay, so that's why I don't want to tell you your matting size, because then that would be wrong. All right, so slightly under. Not an eighth of an inch either, just slightly under. I forgot what this, oh, 5. Okay, that was 5. So I'm going to just go slightly under. Slightly under 5, okay? It's very important, especially in this top piece here. I'm going to explain to you why. Because when you put the paper clip here, there's going to be a little, you see how it hangs off? It's going to be a little bump there. I personally do not see the bump, okay? Once you put this piece over it, you do not see the bump. But if you wanted to ensure that you do not, let's say you didn't want to put this piece over cardstock. Let's say you wanted to do pattern paper, right? You wanted to minimize the layers. What you can do is you're going to get a cutting surface. You're going to get your craft knife, and you're just going to create a little bit of an opening here in this fold here. Something, a little sliver, guys, where your paper clip can sit. See that little notch where your paper clip can sit, and you don't have to worry about seeing a bump there. Okay, that doesn't bother me, but I know for some people that may be a problem. All right, so there is your answer, guys. Okay, so now for this, what you're going to do is this is going to go inside. Okay, the reason why you want it smaller, the reason why you want it inside is because you want this folded over edge. This opening right here is what gets beat up when you're sticking your paper clip in there. Okay, that's what you don't want. You don't want that. So what you're going to do is open your flaps. This is what's so fabulous about this hidden paper clip, because there's a million designs out there, guys, but this one is Paper Phenomenon's version of it. I think so many crafters have just gone absolutely creative, my goodness, with this. But someone comes up with an idea, and then people just alter the idea to fit their needs, right? And this is how because this has been around forever, guys, right? The Alter Paperclip. If anything, when I discovered it was around forever, and I was like, I must have been under a freaking rock. I didn't see this, and then I was obsessed with them, right? For those of you who follow me, you've heard me say that in one of my classes. Obsessed with these Alter Paperclips. I think it was back in the summer. I think it was. I can't remember. So yeah, anyway, so I've done my own thing with the altered paperclip, or with the hidden paperclip, not necessarily altered, right? So I guess when you alter something, you can kind of see what it's supposed to be, right? Initially, this one is completely hidden. And just make sure everything is perfectly glued down before you flip over the other side. All right, make any adjustments you need, and then just flip it over. Nice clean bend. All right, you can score it if you want to, but you don't have to. But you can if you want to. All right, so see, there's a clearance for the flaps to fold without there being any bulk involved, right? Without what am I trying to say here? Without there being any interference from this piece right here, cardstock. You want it to fold nice and clean. There shouldn't be any interference, any resistance. All right? And you want to make sure that that's a clean fold all the way over. You can pull on it if you want to before you start gluing anything down. All right, and just go ahead and apply your glue. You can do tape if you want. That is entirely up to you. Just make sure that you pull, you have a clean fold, and you then secure it. Okay, the beauty about this is that you can mat this, you can decorate this as much or as little as you want. You can round the corners if you want to. It is entirely up to you. All right, so this is a skinny one. You can make these as large as you like or as small as you like. It's up to you guys. It's entirely up to you. And I just like to make sure that everything is perfectly squared off, because it's one of those pet peeves of mine. You can round these corners. Once you go in these corners with a corner rounder, you're going to lose the folded over edge in this rounded portion here, which is okay. All you have to do is just hit it with a little bit of glue and seal it. That is it. Okay, it is. That's what I did for this one right here. So this is the look of the rounded, and this is the look of the square. All right, it all depends what kind of look you want. So then this works out beautifully. Look at this. Folded over edge. I've got a few pages secured here with the paper clip, and it's just a brilliant, brilliant take on the hidden paper clip. So let me show you the tag version. This tag version can be used in multiple ways depending on how you cut the top of this. This could be a tab at the top if you want it to be. Once you finish it, we're going to stick this in our tab punch board. This is 2 layers, so I haven't tried it here to see if it's going to work, but we're going to try it, all right? Just to see. This was done a little bit different, and I have a couple of options for you guys, so stay tuned. I have all sorts of different designs, acetate frames. I mean, guys, you name it, okay? Interactive, booklets, all sorts of hidden paperclip designs for you guys, okay? This method can evolve into 1,000,001 different designs, okay? So we can be here forever with design after design after design, but this flap version, 2-piece flap version is what I'm showing you today, guys, all right? Brand spanking new for you all. All right, so for this particular size, let me measure because I forget. So it's going to be 3.5 by 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 3.5 by 8. And let me make sure that's right. So 3.5 by 7. Yep, that's it. I mean, I guess I can do it. Here would be, let's see. Yeah, I can cover it up. I guess I can use this piece of scrap. I didn't want to cut into a brand new piece of cardstock when I have this piece here. If you notice, there's already some score lines in there. Please don't let those score lines mess with you. Right, so that's for the tag. 3.5 by 8 if you want it exactly like mine. And then I'll give you the measurements for the other pieces when it's time for that, okay? So you're just scoring at a 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Remember, these 1/2 inch flaps are the key to this hidden paper clip. And then down the middle. So see, size really does not matter here. You can make them whatever size you want. All right, so now we're going to miter, right? Cut directly across the X that's formed by the intersecting score lines. Oops, I got to be careful here because I got multiple score lines here. What am I looking at here? This is my 1/2 inch score line, I think. Yeah, this one. So I'm cutting right here. So confused right now with this double score line. Yeah, right here. Nope. Just going to do it this way because I can't see what I'm doing here. With the other score line, it's confusing me. So I'll just do it that way. And then here, fold, right in half, and then taper. Right, so you're just going to cut to the score line, right up to the score line. Just like that. And now fold on, you want to fold back to the bumpy side. And then fold on your score lines up, up, all the way up, and up. Now you can burnish. I like to burnish this way. So I kind of messed up my mitering right here because remember I couldn't decide where my score line was because I have multiple. Trying to save paper, but that's okay. And I got a little bit of a sloppy cut right here, so I'm going to clean that up and clean that up. All right, perfect. So now this is for our the tag right here, okay? So this piece measures 2 by slightly under 2.5 inches, okay? So you need 2 pieces, okay? So I'm going to cut at 2 inches. And then slightly under 2.5. Slightly under 2.5. Those are my 2 pieces there. Then you've got those pieces. So I'd like you to grab your paper clip. All right, and I want you to fold this. I want you to get a cutting surface. And somewhere in the middle, grab your ruler as well. Somewhere in the middle, at least, depending if you're doing a tab or if you're doing a tag, I went down 5/8 of an inch, okay? 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to do a tab, so I'm going to go down 3/4 of an inch, okay? 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to grab my knife, first my pencil, and I'm just going to make a 1/2 inch mark roughly in the center. See that? Then I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to create a little slit. Not too much. I want the paper clip to go through. And then I want to be able to stick a piece of tape through there so my paper clip doesn't move. All right, so whoopsie, this way. So flaps up, okay? That's one important part. Flaps up. That one's all wonky. Give me a good one. All right, so now you insert your paper clip right through there. Okay, so this portion becomes your tab. All right, so you want to hold the paper clip down because see, that can move it. All right, so all you have to do is get a piece of Scotch tape, or you can glue the paper clip. I don't want to have to mess with all that glue, so I'm just going to use Scotch tape. So you want it thin enough so that you can shove it, insert it into the slit, right, like so, and hold the paper clip down. I mean, teeny piece is all it takes. See that? That's it. And then you can put a bigger piece here if you want. Or you can glue it, whichever way you want to handle it. I like to secure it in the center first and then go over like that. All right, so because this one has a pocket, I'm going to forego the wrap, okay? I'm going to forego the wrap. You got to think about that, guys. All right, so I'm foregoing the wrap. And I just so happen to have a piece here that is not slightly under, but just enough. So this was, I already forgot the measurement, guys, sorry. Okay, never mind, we're doing pocket, my bad. So I secured my paper clip. Make sure it doesn't move up. If you want to make sure, you know, that Scotch tape is in there really good, you can put another one in there. It doesn't matter. Just make sure it's in there really good, that it's not going to come up. I feel like my piece was a little too skinny. So I'm going in with another piece because I can't help myself. All right, so see, inserting that Scotch tape through both sides and then bringing it down and holding that paper clip into place. Okay? All right. So now, and you can do different things on each side. You don't have to do the same pocket on each side. Okay? So now you're going to take this little pocket piece and you're going to mark where you're going to cut into these flaps. Okay, so I put my pocket piece right on top of there. Now I'm going to cut with my scissors into the flaps. So I'm cutting straight on the pencil mark, and then below the pencil mark I'm going to taper ever so slightly. Not above. Above is where the fold is. Okay? Here on the pencil mark, and then below. How do you know you're below? Below. The fold is the top, the flap is the bottom. Okay? And then you can use the other side, can use that as a guide to do the other side. Or you can do them together. It is up to you. Completely up to you guys. So now I got both sides done. See that I created a little wedge. Now I'm going to glue my pocket piece down. So I'm going to put my glue on my pocket piece right along the edge on 3 sides. All right, like so. And I'm just going to secure it into place, right? Right there. Make sure you're flush to the edge of that cut that you made. You want it to be nice and neat. You don't want it to be sloppy. Done. And then the other side, same deal. Secure that into place. 3 sides, get that glue on there, or tape, whatever you want. Here we go. Okay, now you got these little flappy doodles hanging out. You want to glue these down. Okay, just glue those down into place. They should go right at the pocket or above. They should not seal your pocket, right? You don't want that. Right in there. Secure that. And then other side. Done and done. Okay. So because you don't have to cover the paper clip for this one, you don't have, and you've got a folded over edge here. You just have to mat inside the pocket. Okay, you've got your folded over edge on the sides and on the top. Okay, so you just have to mat, guys. All right. So if you were doing this, what I used was my corner chomper. I went ahead and boom my corner chomper. I used a D-ring and a 1/2 inch strip. I have 1/2 inch D-rings. Okay. You cut your paper at a 1/2 inch. Obviously nice and straight on a trimmer. I highly recommend that you either line this with Tyvek or P3 tape. P3 tape is my tape. This is a fabric tape I sell in my shop. This is not to be confused with gaffer tape or masking tape. It is nothing like it. This is 1.5 inch wide, and you get 33 inches. Okay. So, or Tyvek is perfectly fine, guys. Don't do masking tape. Masking tape is cheap. It's going to tear just like the paper. So what I would do is, this is a little too wide. It's a little more than 1/2 inch. So what I would do is I would cut either a piece of P3 tape or Tyvek to the same 1/2 inch. Stick it down, right, with tape, and then feed it through this. Do not just do cardstock. It's going to tear, guys, all right? Especially if you're pulling it through the D-ring. This, what did I cut this at? Let me measure this little piece. This looks right here. Yeah, 1.5 inches. Okay, so 1.5 inches. Once you chomp, then you put this through. Okay. Oh, well, you can mat. Then you put this through. And then you punch a hole and say eyelet. Okay. So you cut this at 1.5 inches and then you fold it in half. All right. So you're going to have 3/4 of an inch on either side. Okay. See that? So after you mat, then you do this. I'm not going to do another tag. I want to do a tab. So I want to test it in here. And I have to test this because I always forget how to use this. Because I lost my, this way. So I want to see if I can punch through both layers, which seems pretty thick right now. It doesn't want to go in there. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. I guess we're going to be making a tag together, guys. I mean, I can do a tab on my own, but I want it this shape. Let's see. Ooh, just put all your weight on it, friends. And here. All right. Woohoo! I did it! Okay. So now... All right. I just had to stand up to do that. Let me sit back down. And to mat this... Oops, sorry about that racket. My footstool and my chair sometimes don't like to play nice. So I'm going to cut my mat at 2¼ inches by 2 inches. All right, now to choose a paper. Am I going to use this one for my junk journal or for my Windows on the World project? Decisions. I do not know. Well, I'm just going to use this paper first because I want to see if I got the side. If I've got the measurement right. So I'm thinking let me do 2 3/8 of an inch, guys. Okay. And then I'll tell you if it's right or wrong. Then you're going to put it back in your tab punch. I'm going to see if I got my mat right. For these tab punches, you normally don't do... I did. Look at that. Oh man, super cute. You can do two-tone if you want to. What you would do is you would cut this off. I think I'm going to cut it at 2 1/4. 2 1/4. And you can mat your tab. See that? Mat the tab. No, you can't because you're going to see the paper clip. Never mind. Darn it, I gotta cut again. Hold on. Hold please. Okay, I'm gonna use this paper here. But I'm gonna try 2 1/4. I like 2 1/4 better. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna cut. Trying to cut those rounded edges off. I'm going to tell you which one I like best, the 2 1/4 or the 2 3/8 of an inch. So just hang in there with me. Let's see which size I like best. Yeah, I like the 2 1/4 better. I like the look it gives me so much better. The border that it gives me. That's 2 1/4. If you want less of a black border, then cut it at 2 3/8 of an inch. This is 2 3/8 of an inch here. Let me show you that. Okay. I definitely like the 2 1/4. Let me get another one. I know I had 2 of those somewhere around here. Hopefully I can find it. Come to mama. There you are. Oh, maybe I'll get some flower action. Okay. Get out of there. All right. Let's put this back. Oh, let's put this back. Okay. So now we're going to ink this. And by the way, you can still use the D-ring if you want to on a tab. You absolutely can. But this one, we'll put a, why don't we do an eyelet in our tab? You could do an eyelet and sentiment, depending how big your tab is. By the way, 2 inches is more than enough on this. You just want to mat inside the pocket, okay? You don't have to go all the way inside. I mean, if you want to, go for it, but you don't have to. So 2 inches is more than enough here. So I'm just going to give myself a little snipperoo. The longer your paper is, the less inside space you have. Remember, that would be layer on layer. So you want to be careful with how far inside the pocket you go. A good rule of thumb for any pocket is a 1/2 inch, no less than a 1/2 inch. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I've done less than a 1/2 inch because, you know, I wanted to use a specific pattern paper and it only gave me a 1/4 inch inside a pocket. But a good rule would be a 1/2 inch inside the pocket. But, you know, you can fudge it if you need to. All right, so there's one side. Here is the other side. And matting this way would also secure your paper clip further, okay, with the glue like this. See, this one is so cute. Look at that. All right. So let's pick paper for down here. And this would be, I think, 1 3/4 inches. Yep. By 2 1/4 again. And I love this paper. This is from my Sweet Romance paper. We've been using this on Windows on the World. All right. So 1 3/4 inches by 2 1/4. All right, so I get some of awesome, but I get love in there. That's good. So on YouTube, you're going to see the little notebook hidden paperclip, and that will have a D-ring closure. So that'll be an example of a D-ring closure. Although you can, again, use D-rings in a bazillion ways for a closure, but that's what I got for you guys. Okay. And let me see what I get out of this one. If I cut it at 2 1/4. As long as one of the words are legible, I'm happy. Yeah, this is good, and I could put something at the top. I'm okay with that. Even if I chop up all the words. Okay. So here, how cute is this one? So you can put this on the top or the side, however you want to put it, guys. Okay, doesn't matter. It is entirely up to you. So even if you wanted to do the D-ring, you can do the D-ring. I can do the D-ring right here. See that? Look how cute is that? That'll be a little accent on the pocket with an eyelet off-centered. Look at how cute is that? But I kind of stuck my pocket on there already, right? So I guess I can put the eyelet and then glue it because I do like that off to the side. I think I'm going to do that. All right. Or you can put an eyelet right here on the corner and dangle something from it, tie a ribbon. Again, possibilities are endless, guys. Okay. There's your little tag in there or photo mat. We can put a sentiment from the sentiment set. Here is Love You and Forever. Let's try both of these. I printed these onto clear sticker paper or clear label paper, whichever way you want to call it. Oh, I like the My Boo. Does My Boo fit there? Let's see. Oh, Love Bug too, but I think Love Bug will be too big. We try to get as much sentiments as we can into these sentiment sheets, and then sometimes when you're cutting around them, it's like, oy, that is cute. I'm going to go with, let me see. So if I wanted to put an eyelet here, I can do Love You there and an eyelet here. But I do like the My Boo. And it kind of gets lost there because there's quite a bit of pattern under the boo part. But you kind of see it. Don't love it. I'm not going to lie, guys. Don't love it. Don't love it. Let me see what the... Let's put Forever here. See what that looks like off to the side. Could have trimmed that just a bit more. This really delicate font doesn't do good with a lot of pattern under it. All right, so there's Forever. I like the Forever. So I would definitely go next time with one of the bolder fonts. Okay, not those really, that thin dainty font for under pattern like that. So let's see what we got here. Get a pencil. Because I'm not going to pull it by that D-ring, I don't need to back it as much as I would with a tag. What am I looking for? My pencil. Here we go. So pencil right there. I'm only going to insert the eyelet on one side because I'm going to glue it to the back. Don't need you anymore. Okay, so hole. That looks good. Eyelet. Set that. So this eyelet will not be functional. It'll be purely decorative. D-ring. Again, these are 1/2-inch D-rings. Remember, if you were using this as a tag pull, I would line it with Tyvek or P3 tape or fabric, whatever you got on hand, guys. Okay, it doesn't have to be those two things specifically. Okay, and now for the glue on this side. Okay. Cute, cute, cute. You got to be careful when you're gluing this because you really don't want it to, you don't want to tear the cardstock, okay? So be careful because it's wet. The glue makes the cardstock wet. All right, but look at how cute is that? Adorable. So D-ring down or up doesn't really matter to me, whichever way you want to look at it. But look at how cute these are, guys. And the basic one, perhaps for the junk journal, I'll do a frame. I'll do all sorts of different hidden paper clips using this method for you guys. So just stay tuned, and you'll see all sorts of different ones. You can make a giant one if you wanted to, you know, and just kind of clip it to the side of the page. It'll be fun. This could even be some sort of closure. Just all depends how you make it. But look at this, how cute. So hidden paper clips, guys. Paper phenomenon style. Let me know what your thoughts are for this method of making hidden paper clips, and I hope you love it. All right. I'll see you in the next one, and let me know if you're enjoying this top 10 matting ideas.